leave you. They should leave you because it's too damn controlling. Nobody has to put up with that. A grown damn man. He liked the photograph. It's a click of a button. Even up, look.
But hold on, but it's like a picture of like a girl in a bikini.
So he likes titties. He likes boobs. So what? Why are you so insecure? Why are you so insecure?
But what if you know that person still likes you? Why would you?
So what? Why are you so insecure?
I just feel like it's just a respect factor.
Okay, well, you can, hey ma'am, you can be right. How about that? You're right. You're right. It's disrespectful. He liked the photograph of a woman he used to kick it with. So what? Does it feel better to be alone than right?
Honestly, I think it will come along.
No. See, that's what I always find interesting with you ladies. Is you never look at your behavior. You always want to put it off to someone else, and then you think in the future the right person will come along. Who is that? The person that will do what you tell them?
No, the person that will respect you if you tell them that this bothers me, and then they'll understand.
But why does it bother you? But okay, it bothers you. But man, it's not like he was bringing it into the house. You went looking for it.
I don't know. I think if you tell somebody...
No. I need to, ma'am, I know how Instagram works. On his Instagram, it doesn't tell you he liked a picture on another feed. You sound crazy.
I'm laughing because I understand what you're saying, but I'm telling you that...
No, I need you to stop trying to be right. See, imagine if you lived in this world. See, imagine if you lived in the same world where your boyfriend, you didn't stalk his Instagram. You just happened to have a fucking life and we're secure. And you didn't go check what he did or did not do anywhere else. Okay, just I know crazy world. You just didn't. Then you wouldn't know about it. And if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't have any kind of feelings about it. Then you wouldn't have to do anything about it. Then when you talk to him, you guys could talk about other stuff other than things you went looking for. Because, ma'am, this is a pattern of behavior. You'll find problems. And here's the thing, ma'am, you'll be right. And there'll be plenty of women that'll be like, that's right, he shouldn't have liked an ex's photograph. But they're not going to ask you, how did you know?
Okay, so can I ask you a question? If that is like just small, don't you think that later on it can turn into something bigger?
Yeah, but you're trying to predict the future.
If you just ignore something like this.
No.
You can't predict the future. Well, you can't like that.
You catastrophize
control your own reality with your own fucking thoughts.
Like most loner women. I'll stop it now. You know what happens? It's one thing that turned into you being single.
I like to cut things off.
And if you can't get, and I want you to understand something. As a woman who lives in Miami, you make over 6 figures, right? And you're 33. Man, if you can't deal with your boyfriend liking a picture of an ex, you're not equipped to deal with life. Real shit happens in life. Babies die, diseases, deaths. Real shit.
Real shit.
No, I had a really, really, really rough childhood.
I don't, but okay, but that's not what we're here for. We're talking about real stuff happens in life and with somebody. And in order to have a life worth living, you gotta get over some shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if that's the reason why I'm single, because of that aspect, or is it like because
that's just trying to be
because
flex
my dad passed away when I was 3 and I didn't have a father figure.
Thing.
But I don't know.
We're gonna need a lot.
But I am on this live because I am like willing to hear your advice. And
well, if you have to interview your exes, what is it like to? Well, they would say being with you is blank. Fill in the blank.
I think they did feel like I was controlling. They said I was sensitive.
Right. So is it a pleasure to be with you?
Like, we still have really good.
No. I asked a specific question. Let me give you a different. Is it peaceful to be with you?
At times.
No, not at times, ma'am. Not at times. Is it peaceful to be around somebody who is controlling and overly sensitive?
No.
Wow. I like him.
Then there you are. Would you like to work for someone who was controlling and overly sensitive and then have your future and your income attached to that person?
Yeah.
You would?
No, I'm saying, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Interview your exes. Because, well, I mean, I need you to... Okay, so you told him that he looked at the photograph, but what did you do? I mean, because we heard about what he did. What did you do that was wrong?
That's what I called him out at, and then he set that up too.
No, okay, I got it. No, I got it. That's what you responded. What did you do to him? Not that incident. What did you do in the relationship that was bad?
Just the controlling part.
So give me an instance where he was upset with you at something you did.
He's upset with me when I'm controlling. He gets upset when I'm controlling. That's what we.
But you're controlling in reaction to something he did.
Correct.
That still makes you the victim. Show me where you're the aggressor, where you're the one that initiates it.
I mean, typically it's always like a response.
See, you can't make it up, people. Ma'am, you did exactly. You walked right into the trap. So everything is fine. You're perfect. You just react to what's done to you.
No.
I get it. I know that's not the truth, but I'm asking you to be. No. I'm asking you to be self-aware enough to know what your faults are. It's Thursday and things are going just fine. Then you do this or that, and something happened. Not you react. Not you respond.
Right. So I'll bring up something like, "Hey, why did you follow this on Instagram?"
But that's still you responding to something he did. See what I'm trying to show you, ma'am, is you're not even self-aware. You're not even self-aware enough to know. Either you're not self-aware or you're saying you don't do anything. No. Either
I do. I'm telling you, I'm really controlling that.
Stop. But that doesn't give me an example of anything.
Okay.
See how you can keep telling me examples of what he does? Tell me what you do that he doesn't initiate. He's just sitting there being himself. And why I'm doing this, folks, is because women are never asked to be self-aware. Women are never really asked to see what they do. It's always, well, I'm this way because this happened. I'm that way because my dad wasn't here. I'm this way. It's all, listen. I'm talking to you and I'm talking to the audience. What did you initiate? Or are you saying that you really never initiate anything? It's just you're responding.
Honestly, I also have a double psychology sociology degree, and I'm literally trying. What do I do that is wrong? And the only thing I can do is react to something that he's already. But I'm admitting that I'm overreacting. But I don't know when I would just initiate out of nowhere. It's typically an overreaction to a response.
So use all that stuff you just told us you are, your double psychology and all that. If somebody was sitting in your chair saying, you know what, in relationships, I just react to what they do. I really don't initiate anything. Would you think that makes any practical, any sense?
Yeah, I initiate by looking on social media, I guess, without.
No. Maybe just sometimes you're just a bitch without him doing anything. See, the way you've set this up, go back and listen to what I've asked. It's been very clear, and it's to the point to where it's like, well, whatever I do, it's a reaction to something else. I'm asking where you're the first domino. You're not responding to something, you're not responding to a stimuli. No, you were the stimulus. And what I want you to understand is you're 33 years old, ma'am. You're 33 years old. In any relationship, this is guys, they don't, and I'm trying to show people that, ladies, y'all don't ever look at yourselves as being the instigator. You're always the victim.
Amen, bro.
Is that practical? Is that logical? Good question, though, right?
I mean, I'm really trying to think this whole time, and I can't.
Well, but the thing is, you can't, but you can tell me what he does.
And I can tell you that for me, wrong.
Say again?
I can tell you that I overreact to it.
But I got that. But I want to put a period there, and I want to start a new sentence. I want to start where you're the stimulus. How long were you with this person?
We were only together for like 6 months.
Okay, but in 6 months.
Or less. We even went.
But what I want you to see is there's a male and a female, an A and a B. And the way this is set up right now is B is responsive to what A does. B doesn't initiate. That makes B the victim.
Amen, bro.
But that's not how relationships go. It's tennis. You do something to him too. And here's the thing. Why don't you go ask him? Why don't you ask the exes? Because if you don't know, fair. You know, when we're together, what did I do? When was I the stimulus? Because if you don't know, I bet he does.
I asked him.
In the context of a relationship or in the context of when it's over?
No, all he said is you're controlling.
But this is why you guys were together.
After we broke.
Okay. Well, ladies, I guess the ultimate point is you ladies need to understand what it's like to be with you. And I get it. You make money, you're educated, but this is why I tell women that none of that stuff matters to us. It matters how you show up in relationships.
Amen.
I ask you, is it peaceful being with you? No. Then what difference does it make that you have double majors in psychology and this and that and six figures and blah blah blah? What does any of that matter if you're not what men want?
Amen.
Peace. So you said you've been to therapy yourself?
Yeah, we went to couples therapy together.
No. I said you have been to therapy yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you understand? We all have issues. But do you understand your triggers?
Therapy within 6 months of being together. Y'all don't even need to be in the same room.
No, I mean, I'm working with a life coach right now. But
you mentioned your father. Your father. Did your father die or did your father leave?
Yeah, he passed away when 31 from and I was 3.
Okay. So you have memories of him, but he didn't. Okay. Did your mother marry?
I was 3 years old. I don't have any memory.
Well, did your mother marry?
She got remarried to my dad, and he was not a good dad.
So if you had to say, this is my they did it right couple in public, who's your relational role model?
I would say like my aunt and uncle, but their relationship isn't that great, but we don't believe in divorce because we're like Christian Middle Eastern, and my family just stays married even.
So I want you to listen to every time I ask you, okay, what about a public couple? I don't know your aunt, your uncle.
What would I say is a perfect
No, a public couple. I said they did it right. A public couple. I didn't mean your aunt and your uncle because I can't know them. Do you have any couple that you can point to say, they did it right. I like my relationship to be what I know of them.
Really.
Okay. See, what you told me is all negative. It's and today so many women can say what they don't want, but you can't tell me what you do want. What is the model of they did it right? So right now, even this conversation, it's negative, it's dark. And any decisions made in fear, scarcity, and lack reside in anxiety and stress.
If you can't visualize it, you can't
And
have it.
And man or woman, you bring all that to a relationship. So if you don't think relationships, or if you haven't seen relationships being good, you don't have anything to shoot for, it's all well, then how can anybody not fail with you?
Yeah. I'm working on that with my life coach. Like, that's exactly kind of what
Do you want children?
I do want children. That's something we talked about. I should raise my eggs. I am great. Well, I just turned 33.
So, what's your longest relationship?
Like a year.
Was that were you guys living in the same geography?
No, long.
Okay, so shout out to the ladies in the focus group. You've never had a real relationship.
Amen, bro.
Most of my relationships
How long?
were long distance from
Then they're not real. They're not real because you're not close enough to relate.
I mean, my sister got married from a long distance relationship.
Okay, you can be right, ma'am.
But you can be him.
But I do think that it's not for me, and I do need someone in the same state. That is something
Okay. We were doing good until this is modern woman. I don't care if your sister got married. Relationships imply you're close enough to relate. I had a history of doing long distance relationships too because I had issues with being consistent. I had to deal with that because long distance relationships are not normal.
No.
You just have to be on for a few days. But when Tuesday happens every month, so we get back here because you talk about what you want. You're in Miami, a place that's arguably fake, youth-driven, not really a place for relationships.
Mm-hmm.
How do you expect to find suitable potential mates there?
I told you I was moving.
Good. Well, I would tell you this, that, it's not uncommon today that people do these short-term relationships, long-distance things, but it is a hell of a lot different being with somebody consistently. And the reason I'm stressing this is because we spent a large part of our time talking about how you got upset over somebody liking a picture. How do you think you're going to interact trying to live with somebody 24/7? That's too much.
I really believe in living with each other before marriage.
I didn't say live before marriage, ma'am. I didn't put that in there. I just said.
I think when you're married, you put up with you cope with a lot more because you have that marriage bond. So I think that you work through problems a lot.
Ma'am, you can't even cope with a picture being liked.
Can I ask you, where do you suggest live, or for me to move to, since now I could live?
What do you care? What is your ethnicity or racial preference of a husband?
I usually African American men.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
Dress size?
2 or 4.
Dallas, Atlanta, the competition is thick, but there are a lot of black men here. I wouldn't go to New York, LA, or Miami. Those are places I would not go.
I went to Dallas before I moved here.
Dallas. I would say Houston, but Houston is high in finesse. Shout out to Houston. I've been saying that for the longest. Yeah, and possibly, strangely enough, Charlotte is moving up the rankings, but I don't want to say Charlotte for sure. And then possibly DC. Huh?
I'm from DC.
But I said possibly. I'm saying Charlotte and DC is possible. I got to do more scouting there. But just from what I know, Dallas. Dallas would be a viable alternative.
I think
Huh?
I think you're right. That's what I was considering, and I just wanted your opinion on that.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So what do you guys think? You guys like this? The finesse capital, right? Guys, give me a little bit here. I'm still trying to work with the technology here. Maybe I'll do it this way. Maybe I'll do it this way. So Instagram is over here. So Instagram is live. YouTube. She's not dressed size 4. New York City, baby. New York City, don't get me wrong, man. New York City, dope for singles, but come on, relationally. Guys, I'm trying something new, okay? So you guys even if I had an assistant, this wouldn't work. But Instagram and YouTube are two different platforms, okay? And what I'm trying to do is integrate the benefits of YouTube live streaming with Instagram interaction. So you're gonna have to give me some grace and leeway in the comment section. Don't go ham talking about this and that. No one's doing this, okay? So gotta give me some time. So let me tune this out. Charlotte is cool, but I like Houston. Rich Turner, what's going on? That's dope. All right, so if you guys like this setup on YouTube, do me a favor. Put a 5 in the chat room. If you like it, hit the 99-cent super chat. Let me see if I can bring somebody else in here.
I would totally go chat with you, man.
Let me bring this person in. Once I get them in, we'll see up and go. Works damn good. I don't know, man. I don't know how it sounds. What I'm always trying to do, man, is I'm always trying to give you guys who watch me something else. We've been doing this. It's been working, but you got to continue to evolve. You got to continue to improve. You got to continue to try stuff. You got to continue to. I'm gonna make a lot of errors. I'm gonna screw up a lot of stuff, but we got to continue to try. Because if we don't try, we don't innovate, and without innovation, nothing really changes. So we'll see how it goes.
Expand in life is not a bad thing.
Okay. Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
I am well. Which one? What's your name on Instagram?
Credit Queen 323.
Okay, Miss Sher, I'm going to remove you real quick. Okay, how old are you?
I'm 40.
All right, so what are we chopping it up about tonight?
I wanted to get your opinion on dating. I'm freshly divorced. Yes. But you like, yes. So.
How long have you been divorced?
About 2 years now.
How long were you married?
4 or 5.
Any kids?
Yes, 2.
How old is the young?
Actually, 2 with him, but I have 4. I have 4 total. I have 2 adult children and 2 smaller kids.
How old is the youngest?
The youngest is 5.
So dating. What city are you in?
Los Angeles.
Ooh. The outcome you want from dating. What is that?
The outcome that I want from dating is someone to just have fun with. I'm really successful in my career right now, and I just want someone to have fun with me, like trips, being able to have a decent conversation, being able to, when I have a lot of good news, but I don't have anybody to share it with.
So, those moments where you have something you just want to talk about and express and just add with each other and build and add value.
So you're not really looking to get remarried though?
I'm open to it.
But you got 2 adult kids, 2 small kids, a divorce. There's a lot going on.
Yes.
So
I'm a business owner.
What's your occupation? What's your profession or your occupation?
I'm sorry?
Your profession or your occupation? What is it?
Oh, I'm an accountant.
Oh, okay, good. Well, what I think I'm hearing is you want somebody to, it's almost like an in-between, a tweener. You're looking for somebody to share the downtime with, the adult time with, share a meal with, have adult relations from time to time.
Share with yourself.
Almost like what we call like old school boyfriend.
Yes.
And if it turns into something more, you're open to it, but you got enough going on with the 5-year-old, the accountant, the adult kids, and everything else. And that's workable. That's workable. Racial preference.
African American.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
Dress size.
18.
There you go. You gotta lose weight. You know that.
I'm working on it.
Well, but here's the thing. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't do my little. You knew that had to come. All right. You got to lose the weight, because LA, it's LA. And for people who ain't been to LA and Miami and New York City are hard places to be unattractive, especially LA. So, when's the last time you were active? Like,
meaning in what way?
When I'm in LA, I always see people walking, running. When's the last time you were like a dress size 8?
High school.
All right. Well, do you go into the gym?
Yes, I go to the gym.
Do you have a personal trainer?
No, I don't have a personal trainer.
Hire one. Hire a personal trainer, join Group X classes, do stuff. Going to the gym by yourself. The gym is a social place. Go someplace and turn this into a lifestyle. Cycling. Something that requires you to get outside and be social, to where you can exercise, lose weight, and interact with people.
Now,
go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to add, the issue is not meeting someone. The crazy thing is, I get a lot of, I meet a lot of people when I go out, when I'm driving. It's always meeting someone's always, but they're just not of quality. So is that the issue? So is that tied into the issues that the men that I'm
I mean, if you don't, where are you meeting these people?
Every store,
well, I think it's fair to say that, let's say you like McDonald's. McDonald's on this side of town is different than McDonald's on close to Rodeo Drive. It's about proximity, and you get to pick. Just because you meet these people don't mean you got to allow them into your life. But I think ladies always are talking about you want a higher caliber men. You got to start where you are. So what about you keeps drawing these? What about you that says, hey, approach me? Why isn't the investment banker approaching you? Why isn't the entrepreneur approaching you? Because they're all out there, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that, have you ever heard from anybody you with if you have a masculine or aggressive kind of feel?
If I have a masculine or aggressive feel?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard that.
Have you who filed for divorce?
I did.
On what grounds?
He left.
Okay.
He left. I filed for divorce, but he left.
Well, I would say that I would start with a lifestyle change, because I mean, you want to be around, lose the weight, get active, group classes, things like that, and then when you start meeting different people, start picking men based less upon attractiveness and picking more on character.
Okay, so I think that's where I went wrong, though. So that's the issue with, say, I'm not even going to say, because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But I think that this is where I need your constructive criticism. I feel like before, with a previous spouse, because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, they checked off all the boxes, right?
Okay.
Except for that attractiveness, that, being that, I was like, okay, he's not that attractive. I can work with it. He checks off all the other boxes. But when things hit the fan, it was easier to let it go versus like when you have that chemistry with someone. No.
Just because you're not chemistry. Look. I take care of myself, but I don't pick people based on chemistry. I pick somebody based. You said you want connection.
Yes.
Then chemistry can come from connection, but connection doesn't come from chemistry. That's just sex. Now, just because you pick somebody you weren't necessarily attracted to, where were you guys connected? Did you have common interests? Did you like the same things? Did you? No? Yes?
Yes, we did.
Yes. So when shit hit the fan, it was easier to let it go?
Well, okay, so not say that it was easier to let it go, but those things would start to annoy me. Like, then you start to nitpick and see all the little flaws in a person.
That's when you go to the bathroom, take off. No, when you go to the bathroom. No.
I really don't like the way you wear that shirt today.
No, that's when you go to the bathroom, take a shower, and then jump out of the shower, butt naked, stand in front of the mirror and point out all your flaws. And I guarantee you, by the time you finish doing that, you ain't got shit to say about nobody else in your house.
I hear you.
We all got something.
Right, we do.
Okay, but I want you to imagine if you love your kids, but you always like them jokers.
Yes.
I'm a parent. You don't always like them jokers. Can you imagine if you started to nitpick at your kid every time you didn't like them, the damage you would do to them? Because you got connection. That's why I say carry your ass in the shower, get naked, get wet, come out and be like, oh my God, that's a gray hair. What? I got a pimple. By the time you finish that shit, you'd be like, I ain't got shit to say. I'm going to go sleep somewhere. You see what I'm saying? It's about because here's the thing. Because we're as young as we ever going to be. This is as young as you're going to be. That second that just passed ain't coming back. Your hair going to get gray, your teeth going to fall out, the titties going to sag, all kind of shit. And eventually, look, we're going to have to put up with a lot of shit to get through this life with somebody. But the point is, when they put you in that ground or whatever, you want somebody that was connected to you that can say, she was a good one. That's what you want. And the little shit. I mean, I'm a perfectionist. I mean, come on. Every time you see me, but that made me a motherfucking pain in the ass to be with until I checked myself. I'm like, nigga, you ain't all that. Who makes you God? I mean, you can start getting up, and the thing is, when someone gets close to you, you forget that all the shit you had to go through to get that relationship. That's why I always say, go get that reset. Get in the shower, get naked, and then look at yourself and be like, ooh. Then you'll start to remember, you know what? What he did bother me, but it ain't enough to break this, and I don't want to be back out there dealing with this LA bullshit. So let me chill and see. And then if it continues to happen, then maybe it's something you need to discuss, but you can discuss it in good faith other than just in the emotion. Because we can do a lot of damage to each other in the nitpicky stuff. So I hope that helps, though. Hopefully that helps.
It does. It does.
Have a good one.
That does help.
Bye-bye.
You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty. Okay, I got to get these systems. Yes, I'm serious, guys. You know, when you're an achiever, especially, I have a lot of professional women that watch me, a lot of professional men. I got a lot of smart people, whether they got degrees or not. And one of the best things that I learned, especially when my coaching and counseling and therapy, is to, most of the times you're frustrated with somebody, it ain't them. It's something, it's really more about how you're perceiving what's going on than what's happening with them. So, yeah, you know, you want to, as a man, you want to make sure, especially if you want to be in charge, you got to make sure how you're using that power. And ladies, you got to be really cognizant of how you use your feminine power. That influence is critical. All right, so Instagram is on the way out. It's dying, but what I'm going to start doing is I'm looking at this video. I'm going to see where it needs to be fixed as far as the technology. But we're going to start integrating Instagram into the show. TikTok might be integrated into the show. I got to see what it looks like. But thank you, folks on Instagram. This is being live streamed to YouTube, by the way. So do not screen record and upload this to YouTube because you will be triggering the DCMA system. So, okay, Instagram, I'll see you guys later. Thank you, guys. Okay, so YouTube. All right, thank you, guys. Look, I feel a certain amount of empathy for Generation X women. I don't think what happened to I think Generation X, when we all pass, we're going to get a lot of grace because we survived the dismantling of the middle class, the deindustrialization of America, Reaganomics, crack, HIV, AIDS, the war on drugs. So much stuff happened in the 80s. The fact that we're still alive and kicking is something. The women could not know any more than we did as the men that the disparity that was happening when they were getting hired into corporate jobs because of Title IX and affirmative action over black men. But the bottom line is this. How Generation X women act will determine what happens to the black community. And I'm going to say this. It's over. You can't go back and be 20 some odd years old anymore. You can't reclaim your youth. It's over. You can't go back and be young and get married. Look, if we say we care about the black community, I've said it before, the women are going to have to make peace with their mess and tell the young women the truth. That I made mistakes, I made errors, that it wasn't all them, it was me too. And make peace with the fact that your legacy might not be your DNA lineage. It may be that you're actually somebody's big mama or god mama or pretend mama or whatever. We didn't get the families that we thought we would have. And that's hard for a lot of women to deal with. I've heard women say that's easy for you to say because you're a man. That's not easy for me to say. What I'm saying is that we can't continue to be at war because I am tired of turning on social media and seeing 40 and 50-year-old black folks act a mother flipping fool. We got 40 and 50-year-old black folk arguing and fighting and catching flights and wanting to fight and shoot the fair one and this and that. You got women. And I'm like, we're supposed to be. You got young folks looking at men saying these are supposed to be the adults. These are the people we're supposed to look up to. And a big part of the reason is because we're not in relationships. You got single men and single women who have not we have not matured to the next level. Let's just put the cards on the table. We're like big high schoolers, big college students, because we haven't taken on the mantle of daddy and mother and uncle and aunt and this and that. You got women still going on girls trips and being bad bitches and this and that. Da, da, da. No. I know it's not easy to hear, but Generation X women, black men have not been, and were not your enemy. Stop telling these lies about they're not enough. They're not enough for the women who feel like they deserve one. But there are plenty of them. The issue is the men that are available. They want something, and they don't want to settle for what they don't want to settle either, and they're not going to. If you're a man over 40 and you're a 3% man, he is much more likely going to be dating your daughter than you. He's going to be dating so you got women in their late 40s, he may be end up late 40s, 50s, he likely will, your daughter and him will compete for the same guy. You're supposed to give up and say, here's my daughter, but that's too much for someone. Like, what? My daughter's 27 years old. When are y'all gonna give up? I said this on Instagram, YouTube. Here's a question. At what age do you think the average woman, black woman, says, I'm hanging up the single life. It's over. I'm done. I'm going to retire. I'm leaving the game. At what age do they retire? At what age do you think black women are going to hang up the jersey? At what age?
Never.
I had somebody say 40, 45. I think it is 60 years old. I think the average sister does not hang up her jersey until 60. Because at 40, I see some 40-year-old black women on Instagram that are so goddamn fine. I love a black woman with gray hair and still fit. I mean, there are a couple of them I got my eye on. I'm like, shit. Look at every bit of Storm and X-Men. I'm like, that motherfucker is fun. Godfather will slide in them DMs on that one. Hey, how you doing?
That's funny.
Don't trip. Don't act like shit. Ain't no shame in my game. I will slide in the DM of one. Hey, one of them Silver Sables. Hey, how you doing? Cause you know they fit, looking good. Got that problem. Like, ooh, shit. Yeah. Oh, I lost my goddamn train of thought. Got me off. Retiring. Look, this whole black don't crack. Yeah, but your knees still hurt. You still need your blood pressure medicine. You gotta take your one a day for. You can't act like you know. AARP is on your goddamn doorstep. AARP around the corner, man. AARP around the corner. They about to do their damn thing. AARP will be like, hey man. AARP about to do their damn thing. I'm trying to fix this screen. So I'm like, I'm embracing the fact that I'm 53. Shout out to the on Instagram. What's it called? The Silver Fox Squad. Them are some smooth looking brothers, man. So I hired my own personal trainer, my nutritionist. I'm like, summertime, take this suit off. I'm going. Oh yeah, I'm going to have the beard grow out too. Oh, why, man? Because look, I think one of the issues in Black America is we have a youth We have a more youthful culture. Nobody wants to be 30. Nobody wants to be 40. And we need to make this shit cool. To where your 20s is cool, your 30s is cool, your 40s is cool, your 50s. Young men in particular, let me tell you, 40 is cool. Something to look forward to. And the thing is, just like I talked to that one sister, look, Generation X is haunted by the fact that we saw our grandparents in traditional relationships. We saw it. We saw it and we lived it. We know it exists. We know it exists and we have firm memories of it. And we feel like Charlie Brown when Lucy keeps taking the ball. That's what Generation X is. I'm going to tell you, this is how I feel Generation X has been. Generation X has been really jacked over. Charlie Brown, kicking football. This is how a lot of Generation X has been. And it's not cool, man. It's not cool at all. Oh, shoot. Let me do this real quick. That's Generation X right there. Every time we think we're about to kick the football, every time we're about to the factory jobs are gone. Dismantling of the middle class. Reaganomics. Crack. HIV/AIDS. The war on drugs. Desert Storm. Let me tell you something. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking. I was walking through and I saw these two beautiful women taking photos. I'm like, damn, they fine. I grew up in a world to where sex did not kill you. And the generations before, they could actually, men and women could have one night stands. And the worst thing that could possibly happen, outside of obviously pregnancy, is you might get an STD. And it was like chlamydia or gonorrhea or something. They call it getting a dose. Something that an antibiotic, a little shot. But it really didn't happen. Pregnancy, the women were on the pill. The biggest thing you had to worry about was and it was like infinitesimally small. Most people weren't burning. Some people are like, what about crabs? That didn't happen a lot back then either. But then what happened? The one disease with the H came along in the late 70s, early 80s, changed the game. Because that was the first thing that came along that you just couldn't get rid of. Go back on Saturday Night Live and look at Eddie Murphy and all the characters talking about it. They used to compare it to luggage. But that changed real interactions. But even that didn't deter a lot of people. People was out just free loving it. I mean, if you had a condom, hey, you want to get together, chick? Yeah, all right. Pow, and keep on moving. Go study free love. That was in the 60s. I wasn't born then, but you get the point. But I need you to understand that in my lifetime, sex became deadly. It went from free love and possible pregnancy to the H and then the big A. That changed everything. I'm going to tell you, man, the first time you had to go get your test, anybody who tell you they kept a gangster, some bullshit. Everybody that had to take that test was like, oh, nobody wanted to take it. Shout out to Magic Johnson. I credit him for a lot of people finally taking that dadgum test. But now today, people understand that out here in Atlanta, man, you better shit. Shout out to Millie. She make people do a lie detector test. I walk around with a damn meter. I'll need a hair follicle. I need a saliva and some blood. Oh no. I got some damn sexual litmus paper. Let me go ahead and get a little swat. Oh no. That came back green. Can't fuck with that. Oh, here's the red. God damn it. Too far, Kevin. Too far. Scratch. Too far. The ultimate point was Generation X. I need you, the younger people, to understand my generation went through a lot. There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of PTSD with Generation X. Cops and so many black boys. There's just so much. The world is so different than it was. And this is why I can, as much as I say what I say, I still have empathy and compassion for women, black women in Generation X, because I'm a man. I don't, it doesn't, if I decide I want to have kids, I can still have kids. It ain't fair. But that's the problem. We got to get over this fair shit.
Amen, bro.
I would rather those two women sit down and have a conversation about the disappointments in what they expected to happen, or what was promised to happen, or what they thought was going to happen, and then the reality of what's still possible. But stop making men the problem. And I am tired of y'all making men the problem, and I'm so tired of y'all making average, regular men the problem. You didn't want the factory workers. You didn't want the guys who work third shift at the plant. You didn't want the dude to, nigga, please, you work for UPS. You didn't want the military guy. You didn't want the short guy. You didn't want the nerd. I was a nerd. The only way I hung with nerds, but I was a tall guy and I was a drum major. I was a cool nerd, so I could live in both worlds. I saw how bad nerds got treated. Revenge of the Nerds made nerds feel good, but nerds, you didn't want them then, you still don't want them. You call them educated lames to this day. So stop acting like the men you didn't want, the Russell Wilsons you didn't want, because you were trying to kick it with what you think Future is. I'm not going to throw Future under the bus. No, people keep asking about the Future thing. I think two things. One, I think he probably is trolling y'all. And if not, two, hey, man, if you don't think he's toxic, they are toxic. Maybe. You ain't shout out the Future. Still going to advocate for men. But you didn't want Russell. You didn't want Will Smith. So stop acting like because you don't know what Russell or Will Smith is, where are they at? How do you treat them? How are they treated today? How Will Smith, if he was white, would be on Mount fucking Rushmore. But now he's crying at the red goddamn table. So stop this trying to blame black men for the woes. They paid enough. Paid enough. And I'm going to say it again, especially for the average guy, the policeman, the firefighter, the truck driver, the mailman, the electrician, the plumber, the very men that build this country and make this shit work. I've said it before and I'll say it again. White collar men ain't shit without blue collar men. We don't build this world. We just act like we do. We act like we do because we look good in a suit and we can speak. They do the fucking work and we respect them. Y'all don't respect them the way we do.
I do. I did it every man I dated was a...
Look at the men that men admire and go get with those men.
Oh, so cool. So cool.
Generation X women, life is not over. You can still, it's time to make peace. We talk all this black community, black this, black that, black this. The best thing we can do is make peace. Make peace in public so the millennials, zennials, and everybody else can say there's something to build on. It may not be what you want. You're not going to get everything you want. You won't. But it's far better than what it is now. I don't want to see Generation X at war with each other, men and women at war with each other 10 years from now. What we going to do? Be hating on each other in the retirement home? I mean, the fuck, man?
Amen, bro.
We all we got.
Amen, bro. Amen, bro.
It's going to require the women to stop the BS, to stop the fighting. And I think it's interesting that there's so many women that are just surprised that y'all following Kevin Samuels and Kevin Samuels' agenda and Kevin Samuels propaganda. Kevin Samuels didn't make any of this stuff up. Kevin Samuels is telling you what I hear every day from men. This shit is not original. These concepts and things have been floating around on the basketball course, frat room, and locker room. You never heard me sit around and say, I copyrighted, I came up with this. I'm telling you what the men you want and the men you telling you what the men you want and the men you need, what they want and need from you. It's time for you to do your part, ladies. You had your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, some of you your 50s. Now it's time to do for the culture you say you care so much about. If you care so much, Tachina Arnold, I'm going to end on this. Tachina Arnold called holy hell because she asked black women, what can we do to aid the emasculation of black men? And I will tell you, I listened to platform after platform after platform of women misrepresenting the argument, turning it into something that was not, and I expected that. But then I saw so many weak-ass, fool-sounding men. I'm as disgusted at some of the stuff I heard from some of these men. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just don't say nothing. If you don't know... The world after average at best is different. And so many men today are still going around with pre-average at best, 2019 Me Too ass software. The world has changed. It is okay to advocate for men. Unapologetically full-throated. You don't have to keep tucking your nuts every time you are asked a question about men to be afraid of offending Big Mama now. Say what the hell you know is the truth. I get tired of seeing black men with your big voice and big presence and this and that get mealy-mouthed and noodle-backed when somebody asks you something about a man. I know what you think. He knows what you think. He knows what you think. We know the truth. And then when you start, I just think, we're just spiritual beings. Grab your nuts, man, and sound off like you got a pair. Say it with your chest. This little insignificant speck on the side of the internet, this little men's content space has done something. It has allowed men to advocate for men. And companies and brands and people are starting to recognize, you know what? That can exist along with this. We can make money and build businesses and products and services. That's another revenue stream. Men are supporting this. So now you get to pick. And the world is a better place when women can say what they want, men can say what they want, and then when the two sides want to get together, they do. But we don't have to have mutual destruction. Last point. As much as you may not like it, and as much as you may not understand, Generation X Black women, you wield a lot of influence. That influence over the community, it was just 10% 10% could change the dynamics for another 3 generations. Start prioritizing boys, building strong boys into strong men. You won't see it, I won't see it, but at least we'll know it's being done. You don't have to like me. You don't have to like a lot of men who just look like me, my age. Hate, dislike us all. But don't take it out on the boys. You judge a community by what? The families. And you want a better Black community, you got to start with the family. And it starts with a nuclear family. Amen. And that starts with a strong father.
You party.
But you don't get that if you don't start at the beginning with a boy. You want these men at 18 years old to become something like that you have not planted and fed and watered. And everything you say is food, light, sunshine. Are you feeding and nurturing? Are you feeding and watering the boys?
Positivity matters.
Or are you like toxic rain and pollutants?
Yeah, you gotta go.
Every time you talk about there are not enough good men or this or that, you're telling the boys what?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
All right, y'all. This has been a little bit all over the place. Thank you guys for your patience through this. Trying this, we'll get it together. A focus group, Atlanta focus group. I announced it on Instagram. If you're in Atlanta and a woman you want to be a part of my focus group, go over to Instagram. You'll see the instructions. Follow the instructions. I will be making my selection. The focus group will be next week. So I'm going to be doing focus groups probably 2 to 3 times a month. They're invaluable, gentlemen, invaluable. I'm ecstatic with the progress we are making. Shout out to all the young men I met today. Shout out to all the young guys taking the photos and everything else. Good stuff is happening, man. Should be proud that we're moving in a positive direction. It may not always look pretty. It may not always look nice, but we are far much. Shout out to the officer. I'm sorry. He said it, man, to you, because of you, man, I'm married to this day. I was on the phone with O'Shea Duke Jackson, and O'Shea actually heard this cop stop me and say, man, because of you, me and this, and then he showed me his beautiful wife, his child, his home, the wedding. He did well. And I'm like, that's legacy. It may not be of your DNA, but Generation X women and men, we can still have legacy. Till next time, talking to you later.
Man. Insane. I don't think I've ever listened to anything that he's said before. Maybe a few seconds. So like, why is he picking on someone? What's going on? Swipe. I don't care. That was cool though, right? He was right though. Builders make the world. If you watch a builder, you can learn how to build the world. That's pretty cool, right?